Good afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We're streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to your Facebook page and look us up, or hit see first to see and hear all the great programs that we have here on WNHHLP. And just to note, Cannabis Corner is also streaming live on the Greenhaven Media Facebook page and YouTube and ProCannabisMedia.com. So go over there, like, share, and subscribe right now. Welcome, everybody. It is Monday, December 2nd, 2024, running to the end of the year here. Welcome to Cannabis Corner Radio. I am your host, Joe LaChance, Joe the Weed Guy, and I, of course, am joined here by the one and only Farmer Lou. Uncle Lou, how are you today after Thanksgiving weekend?
It's a beautiful thing. I got to spend some time with my kids, friends, family. Got to go out and see some of my associates and, all the other people that we like to hang out around with. Got to talk with you guys and send you guys a ton of love as well. How are you guys doing other than that? I had a good weekend. We did all the really cool things we talked about, and it was a low-key week. So now we are back at it.
Yeah, man. It was a beautiful Thanksgiving. I had a wonderful time.
There you go,
I
Joe.
spent it with my brother and his family, my brother Jeff.
That's right.
And it was very cool. I enjoyed it. Nice. I got to really kind of get to know my, I guess it's my great nephew, my
there you go.
brother's grandson.
As they
I got
get
to
older,
meet him, hang out with him, play with him. He's pretty cool. 1.5 years old. He's running around like crazy. A lot of fun being around kids. Good energy. But yeah, I had a great time. The weekend was very mellow. I kind of had to recover. I think I ate too much, and with digestive issues, sometimes you have to pay the piper.
My sleep regimen is what ends up getting messed up with those type of things. My sleep regimen is what ends up getting messed up because the tryptophan in that turkey really does the job, and then you have a bunch to drink, a bunch to smoke, or edibles, the whole nine of everything along there. And my sleep schedule ends up getting really messed up just due to those digestive issues. And that's one of the things that we use cannabis to kind of help us with as we move forward. So, I was actually watching one of those fitness influencers, and she was talking about good diet and food. And she actually, without not being a cannabis person at all, brought up the endocannabinoid system, talking about how processed oils and artificial sweeteners, processed seed oils and artificial sweeteners wreak havoc on your endocannabinoid system, starting to so not even partaking in cannabis or ingesting any cannabinoids, but when you take those processed sugars and artificial sugars and processed seed oils, you end up tricking your endocannabinoid system and kind of throwing it off whack, triggering a munchie response. So now if you're somebody who's looking to do the right thing for food and things like that, and you have an out of whack endocannabinoid system, and it can actually, we know that having a messed up out of balance endocannabinoid system or endocannabinoid system that's not regulated with the use of terpenes or cannabinoids or anything like that really can have an effect on your health. And that's why we do see when people do take the time to do the right thing for their endocannabinoid system and, contact those professionals, like the nurses, the pharmacists, and all those people that actually know a lot about it, like, like Uzma or like the cannabis nurse or the cannabis doctors now.
Michelle,
Neat, and all the other, and Lisa Capitani, and all those individuals where they actually give you a lot of that information to give you that. And this fitness professional was a wrestler, so that I follow a fitness wrestler, so that's where she was talking about that and triggering the endocannabinoid system, man, and that's a big thing.
I think what you made a good point. Like, as much cannabis as we inhale and we ingest to keep our endocannabinoid system in balance, if you start eating seed oils, like you say, which are highly processed and not even natural, and the artificial sweeteners, you're almost like one step forward, two steps back. You're almost like negating the good stuff you're doing by ingesting the cannabis. It's almost like you're kind of counteracting it with the artificial garbage that you put in and making
Yeah.
the endocannabinoid system work a little bit harder.
Oh, trust me, I eat all the garbage still to this day, and I try. I try to.
I'm
Um,
off oils. I'm
yeah, good, good,
totally
good.
off the oils, but artificial sweeteners, I still like me on green tea, my.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What my thing is, and I do green tea with honey nowadays, and I make my own little iced green tea. But I love my Arizona iced teas. My thing is everything else. I'm a rather large individual, both physically and in the belly sometimes, but um, it pushes it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I still get those phone calls that knock me back. But yeah, so fitness, health and wellness, the cannabinoid system, kind of all that. So guess that gives a shout out to Lit and Fit event that went on this weekend. So shout out to
Yeah,
um
I've been trying to get her on the show, but she apparently has clients on Mondays all day. So.
no, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. We love
I
to see
have
our fitness
I
folk.
really do want to speak with her, but it's tough with her
We love to see
schedule.
our fitness folk. And there's a ton of great fitness individuals we start seeing. I see some of the legacy individuals that have really started to get into the health and wellness sphere. So at the same time as being able to kind of live the legacy life as well, and live that very taxing, as we all understand, the legacy life is very taxing and mentally, time wise, financial,
Yes, I know.
headaches, the whole realm of it. So being able to find a little time for that workout goes a really long way. So shout
Yeah.
out to all those um, all those OGs making sure that they're still getting in and doing what they do.
Yep.
But you know,
Let's let's move it over to Kristen. She's hanging
yeah.
out there in a new corner. Every week she's in a different location. But Kristen, how are you today? Classic Kristen over there in the corner. What's going
I
on with you? How was your Thanksgiving? Did your bird finally thaw?
I woke up so early. All right, so I bought the turkey Monday, thinking it would absolutely be defrosted by Thursday. And Wednesday night, that girl was still very frozen. So I took it out really early Thursday, and it was still pretty frozen. But I did that thing where you like put it in put it in a large bucket and fill it
Of
with cold
water,
water.
right.
So it ended up working, but I was a little stressed. I was like, oh my god. And if you prepare a turkey, you've got to like pull stuff out of it, and
Oh
those
yeah.
frozen inside. Like I can't chisel this out. It was a little stressful, but it came out lovely. It tasted good. I'd leftover
Good.
turkey breast, and we're throwing that stuff away because I am over it. No, it was a nice Thanksgiving. Kind of laid low, stayed at home. My sisters were going to come over, but my nephew is 4, and he was running a fever and not feeling good, and no one wants to share that. So
No.
kind of kept it kind of quiet, and then I did not do Black Friday shopping. I don't really do that, but I did venture out on Saturday just to get like a couple of things and get a jump start on stuff. I don't know if anyone out there likes Taylor Swift. You'll know that this is a score and a half. I have the coveted Taylor Swift vinyl album. I see you shaking your head, but I'm a
Nope.
fan. So are many
I don't
others.
like her.
Anyway, I got that
You know
album.
what? That's a big thing. That was a
I know
big
it's a
thing.
big thing. I had
Those
some
vinyls
vinyls at
are
one time.
huge. Vinyls are absolutely huge.
I felt
Was
like
this a new vinyl that came out?
yes, it is the Tortured Poets Department vinyl. So it
Oh,
was
I missed it. I'm a Swiftie. I don't know what to tell you. There's big guys like Taylor Swift too. She's got a whole song about me. She's singing there, Louise. Yep, I'm telling you. But
I
it
can
is
tell
what it
she's a
is.
tortured poet with all that money. It must be
Yo,
very
absolutely.
torturous
you
to
know,
be rich like that and
look,
She's got a
young.
oh,
story, Joe. Did you not know she was taken advantage of by the man, and now she is
her whole
definitely.
story just resonates with me.
Look, she signed a record deal, right? She signed a record deal.
I said my
Her,
15-year-old.
and I'll leave it at that. But being in the music industry, I know what that means.
Oh yeah, you sell your soul at that point, realistically, and we know that part. And I'm happy
It's
for
the
any artist
sales
that
of your
starts to do.
soul.
And you know what?
Sell your soul.
We're watching artists all the time kind of do the thing. And my daughter is into the little vinyls now. So shout out to Static Era Records, which is right in Milford, Connecticut.
I know those guys.
Good friend Jay Reason over there. He was in the
That's
hardcore
right.
scene, and then he worked with Deb and Dad, and he did all the online stuff. He actually made a couple of my websites. So Jay has been a behind the scenes cannabis pioneer
Yeah.
for some time. So we love to give him his flowers when we can. And Static Era Records is his physical brick and mortar shop in Milford, Connecticut. So if you guys are ever looking for anything, Kristen as well, if you guys are ever looking for a vinyl or something, definitely hit up Jay or reach out to me, and I'll get you in contact with Jay, and he can usually grab something, put it aside within means,
Well, there
and
you
kind of do
go.
those things. Jay keeps an eye out for me for all the old stoner type of records. So I have a affinity for Cheech and Chong Big Bamboo album, and I've gotten
Ah,
4 or 5 of those. I have 5 albums now, and 4 of them actually have the Big
the
Bamboo
paper, yeah.
Big
I
M
had
still
it.
in it. Right,
I had to
Joe?
sell my record collection, but I had that one in there, Big Bamboo with the
With the
paper.
Big Bam, and a lot of
Oh
people
yeah,
don't
with the
know
paper.
that.
I
This was
resisted,
one of
and that
those.
was the one I had from when I was a teenager. I resisted rolling that thing because a lot of my friends did. They would pull that big paper out and actually try to roll it, and you would find out that it was not good to smoke out of. It was a novelty. It would
Like,
burn right up.
But it was
So
great to roll it, great to
I
have it,
kept
and it's
mine, but I ended up selling it along with my whole collection. Unfortunately, when I moved, I had to
yeah.
that. But I love vinyl. I'm glad to hear that they are bringing it back, even if it
Vinyl
is
is
Taylor
coming back,
Swift.
bro. And
Um,
all types. I got an MF Doom one. I've gotten some really cool remakes. And so, what a really cool thing is if you go to these record stores on Record Store Day, or some of the record stores have deals where they end up buying like the licenses after 30 years of the
yeah, and
album
they
being
repress
out
them. Yep.
and repress them into really cool looking albums. I got a Hotel California one that was like kind of ghostish on the inside, and it's really cool. And I really, that's my go-to karaoke song, Hotel California there. So um
Mine is Kung Fu Fighting.
there you go. See, you got to have one of those things. So, but what do we got going on, Chris? We have gabbed today. We have been motivated by
Oh
the
yeah, we're all
marijuana.
smoking before. That's why. All right. What? Yeah, Kristen. Do you have any events?
I have been slacking on finding events. I got to be honest. I know you mentioned Erin with the Fit and Lit. She's got another one coming up. It's not until January, but keep that on your roster and follow her. Her Instagram is Simply Natural Fitness. So exactly what we were talking about a few minutes ago. She's a personal instructor and incorporates cannabis and endocannabinoid system information into it. But I saw some pictures and it looked like a great time. And a handful of people went out, and it's growing. So it's a really fun way to kind of a group exercise. It looks like she was helping folks with some strength training and weightlifting and things. So I'm planning on checking out that one in January. Trying to think. Did you have anything with Better Ways? I know he's doing like a movie
We
night. I
have.
don't
Well, I have this Wednesday is a very important event. I want everybody to know it's from 1 to 4 p.m. It is called Alternatives to Medication. And
love
this is
that.
the one we discussed last week. It has Aaron Doolittle, Lisa Capitani, and Uzma Zakur as the panelists. And it says, join us as we explore new alternatives to traditional medicine. This forum will provide a unique opportunity to discuss the latest research, share insights, and engage in thoughtful dialogue with fellow professionals in the mental health and addiction field. So I think it's good. It also can give you 3 RSS CEU credits. So I think that's a good event that we should highlight, and it's with our good friends. So that is on the 4th, 1 to 4 p.m., 2075 Silas Dean Highway in Rocky Hill. And if you want more information, you can go to advocacyunlimited.org. But please go out and support our friends over there. So also, yes, you are correct, Kristen. over at Better Ways, they have Blazed and Glazed coming up on the 10th of December. And that is at Fired Up, but Better Ways is co-sponsoring it. So for those of you who don't know, that's kind of where you get blazed and you make up some pottery. And you put it in the kiln, and there's a whole place over there in Brantford called Fired Up where they do that. And they've partnered up with Better Ways. That'll be on December 10th at 6:30. You can get more information about that. And then this one isn't really cannabis related, but I know that Uncle Lou and I are both interested in this. This is on December 13th. It's a holiday tropical Caribbean dinner over in West Haven, and that's over on Campbell Avenue. And I just thought that was very interesting because, of course, we always support the different cultures and especially the Latino culture. And this is a great way for people to come out and celebrate the Latino culture with a nice dinner. It's from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., and that's on Friday the 13th. And that's on Campbell Avenue in West Haven. And the other thing I know is that on December 15th, Burn and Learn is doing a holiday party. And Burn and Learn is also doing another paint and puff on the 17th. So that's what I have. Kristen, anything else from you?
I do not. So that's a pretty solid list considering we're in December and it's cold as you know what around here. No,
Yeah, I'm expecting maybe an event come out from Connecticut, but there'll be more. But I think it's important that people, if they really want to learn about alternative medicines and support some of the people in the community that we've had on the show that also have been really helping out with the medicinal aspect of making custom tinctures and really helping people, including myself, get their health together. I think it's important that we go out and support them. I don't know if there's a virtual link, but check on the website to find out. So I think we're ready for our guest. So with us right now are Lindsay. Oh, hold on. I got to get my bio. It's Lindsay and Stephen of The Happy Confection. So Lindsay is the kind of friend you want in your corner and one half of the creative force behind The Happy Confection. With 15 years plus in marketing across private and nonprofit sectors, Lindsay's all about creating brands that matter. She's raised millions, crafted impactful stories, and builds brands with heart. Now she's leading her own company that celebrates cannabis as a catalyst to a life with more joy. As a proud queer business owner, Lindsay is known for sharing her perspective openly with a bit of humor. Lindsay draws her lifelong experience from navigating chronic PTSD, MDD, and anxiety to speak to the plant's role in improving her mental health, especially as it intersects with infertility. And now Stephen is a classically trained pastry chef turned cannabis connoisseur with a knack for turning delicious bites into unforgettable experiences. With a bachelor's from the Culinary Institute of America, Stephen mastered his craft over a decade in high-end hospitality. When the pandemic forced him to pivot professionally, he decided to trade in the world of fine dining for a new adventure in cannabis. After a short stint on Food Network's Halloween Baking Championship, he was hired to oversee the beverages and edibles program for Commonwealth Cannabis Company. Here, his love and deep respect for the plant flourished alongside the creation of the in-house labels Bite and Sip. He is now, as the operational lead at Connecticut Contract Manufacturing, he ensures top quality production in the state, not only for the Happy Confection, but for other renowned brands like Wana, Kiva, and Lighthouse. Welcome to the show, Lindsay and Stephen. How are you?
We are great. I think Stephen might need some help unmuting and turning on his camera, if anybody has host status over there.
Okay, I see his face.
Yeah, he's here. He's here.
Well, see if you could text him. I don't know, Stephen, if you can hear us. See if you can unmute. I'm going to ask him to unmute. And then, but you and I can chat for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Can you hear me now?
There he
Here
is.
I am. Thank you.
All right. So we got Lindsay Roth and Steven Sichoka. I
You
was
got it.
I was not sure how to pronounce it, but I wanted to do the intros perfect.
You
So
got
you guys are from the Happy Confection, but judging from your bios, you both had lives before it.
Yeah.
And then something led you into the journey into cannabis and then converging your paths into the Happy Confection. So I'm very interested in both your stories. So Lindsay, why don't we start with you? Tell us a little bit about, you were in private in the nonprofit or sector, and you were
Yeah.
working with brand management and different things like that. But you also had some physical difficulties, which probably was the
Yeah.
reason you got into cannabis. So let's
Yep.
let's talk about that.
Exactly. So back in, I think it was like 2016, Massachusetts legalized medical marijuana, started to get into the recreational side as well. And I had been struggling with insomnia specifically, but also just other side effects from PTSD.
Mhm.
And, I was still kind of on a journey figuring out the best way to manage my mental health. And one of my doctors suggested cannabis. And so I, was able to get my medical card and go through the like inaugural opening of, at the time it was Netta in Brookline. And so
Mhm.
going there
The
and
first one.
yeah, figuring out the flower and all of that. And um unfortunately, like I'm a past cigarette smoker, and so I didn't
Me
really
too.
love the idea of smoking exclusively to get the benefits of the plant. And at the time, the edibles that were on the market really weren't effective, at least for me.
In the
And
dispensary, you mean?
yes, exactly. And so, I think that there was still a lot of education happening in the industry, as well as just, learning curves that were happening. And so when Stephen and I met in 2017, I had actually, on our first date, told him about, using cannabis. And we obviously bonded very quickly over our mutual shared interest and love of the plant. But he, started to take distillate and just put it into different forms of edibles for me to consume
Being a
at a higher
chef.
quality. Yes, exactly. His skills as a classically trained pastry chef came into play there, and I was so appreciative. And so from there, we just sort of saw an opportunity for us to bring high quality edibles to the market, but also that are in unconventional doses and blends that weren't at on the market at that time. And that's how we came up with the Happy Confection. We incorporated in 2018 with an intention to go to market in Massachusetts. And unfortunately, with the domination of MSOs and the strict rules around having like a manufacturing facility and paying rent and everything, the very modest capital that we were able to raise from friends and family would not stretch that far. And
Right.
so we had to kind of hurry up and wait. And we followed a lot of dead ends, a lot of big promises from well-intended
Huh?
companies in the field that were looking to get space occupied, but it just didn't end up working
That was a
out in
tough
mass.
time out there in the
Yeah.
industry. It really
Mhm.
was because it was just getting
I think there was a lot of
started.
hope. Yeah, there
Yeah.
was a lot of hope for the Massachusetts market. And so when Stephen was recruited for the position that he's in now at Connecticut Contract Manufacturing, uh, Drew Berunger, who is his boss and the person who established that facility, was all in on us being able to put our brand out underneath his license, which not only really streamlines and simplifies the process for us, but
Sure.
it also allowed us to really take our capital that we had in the bank and stretch it as far as possible so that we could put out some high quality products that are filling some voids in the market.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know, I had the pleasure of meeting you at the Chamber of Commerce event over there in Bridgeport.
Mhm.
And so we got to sit down and talk there, and I got to see some of your products, and I think you got some really nice stuff going on over there. And I
Yeah.
wanted to bring Steven in because I think part of what makes you different is you are doing also very, we were speaking of in the beginning, like with Lou, very health conscious type of edibles, not your average brownie cookie. You know what I'm saying? These
Yeah.
are a lot different. So, Steven, how are you today?
I'm doing well. You can hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Beautiful. Can you see me?
Yeah. Well, we see your icon, and that's all we
Yeah.
need.
Okay, I have no idea. I have no idea how to get my picture up there on my app right now, but you
It's
can at
so
least hear me.
That's
yeah.
all good, and we do have a picture of you to see. So
So
you,
yes.
classically trained chef, Culinary Institute of America,
Yep,
working in the hospitality industry,
I was
making
high-end hotels.
pastries, I'm sure, right?
I
What
was
brought
doing
you into
that.
cannabis besides
Well,
using it?
I mean, yes. I mean, I always loved it. And while I was sweating in those hotels, I would just tell myself, I will find a way to get weed in these delicious desserts one day, and I will not have to work for these people. And
So
here we
you were
are. We're
just
going for
waiting
it.
for it to be legal.
Yes, I was. And that was down in DC and Atlanta where I was like, no rules are established here. And that was down in that was back in like 2013. And
Right.
yeah, so I was like, well, nothing's gonna happen with that here. I mean, that was really something I had dreamed of, but never like at that time I was like, I'm gonna do this someday, but never really thought it was gonna happen.
Were you doing
Um,
it as a hobby at all? Were you testing
I
things at
wasn't,
that
I
time?
wasn't, because the weed I was getting down there was so expensive. I was like, I'm not gonna decarb and make this into anything. I'm just gonna smoke this for my mental health, and that's what I
Right
did.
on, right on, right. We're talking 2013 down
Yeah.
there, way before anything going on, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was not really experimenting too much. When I was 18, 19, we made a tray of brownies once with a bunch of the stemmed and seeded up weed that we used to
Yeah.
get as a kid,
Yep.
and didn't know anything about it, didn't decarb anything, didn't really get high, and was like, well, I have no idea. And that was back in the day, the early 2000s, where wouldn't even want to internet search that because you feel like the FBI is going to be knocking at your door.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So we did our one pan of brownies and was like, well, that wasn't okay. And fast forward to 2017, Lindsay's getting very expensive edibles from the medical dispensary. And I'm like,
Yeah,
listen,
not effective.
yeah, I was like, listen, I can probably make you something. I can do some math. I can make you something for cheaper and dose it out pretty accurately if my math is right, which it seemed to always be right. Nobody ever was having a bad time. Um,
And it
and
was
yeah,
legal now, so it gave you the opportunity.
yeah, it was legal. And I was like, all right, what can I get? Distillate wasn't even like on the market. Like Netta didn't even have their D line out yet. So I was like, what am I gonna do? And I watched this kid from California make himself like a 300 milligram gummy bear. Excuse me. And he didn't use in wax, and he just decarbed it in his toaster oven in a silicone cup. And I said, oh, I can do that. Shatter and wax was on sale for bulk discounts, so grabbed a few shatters and waxes and threw them in that little cup then made some taffy. And then I cut each piece to like the exact weight because I was like, I don't want her to not have a good time here.
Right.
And I was like, what do you want to eat? Like, what do you want me to make you? I have this whole book of delicious candies that I can craft. And she was like, I like taffy. So black cherry taffy was the first real edible that I
Mm.
ever made. Yep. And they were good. They're real good. And from there, I played around with a few things, did a little vegan bits with agar agar. Pectin, it for home use isn't really a fun thing. You have to keep that mix really hot at all times and go real fast. So that really wasn't a thing for me at the time.
So we're talking
And
gourmet type stuff.
kind of, I mean, I would
Yeah.
I would think the taffy was up there. I was hand cutting each one of those pieces and weighing it out and making sure the dosing was right.
Right.
Yeah, and it was good. And it was like full plant using the concentrates. And then I started to get disty, and I realized that gummies were way easier. So I did
Mm.
just a gelatin-based gummy, popped those right out, and those became our edibles for a while. And then I was going through, I really wanted to do an edible that was vegan. So have that, it's more of a jelly than a gummy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we did it. I hate leaving your gelatin gummies in the car and then all of a sudden you just have a puck of gummy.
A mush, yeah.
Yep, it all just melted together because gelatin is thermoreversible and will melt in the sun. However,
Right.
our pectin gems will not. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, so that's what we were going for. So yeah, our gummies are crafted with all natural ingredients. Um, we have really fun ratios to kind of help settle your tummy and chill you out at the end of the day or help you go to sleep or really just boost you through your day. And it's our initial drop. We have some really fun things planned for the next year, some holiday drops, things like that. So we are working hard. I mean, as Lindsay said, I am running this manufacturing facility, so there's tons of great stuff coming into dispensaries right out of this one little building here. We were doing a pop up this weekend, and I look around. I'm like, I make half of the edibles that are reselling.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. Not only the big company that you work for, they're out of Mass, and you actually spearhead a few different brands.
So the big company I work for here is not out of Mass, actually. Connecticut Contract Manufacturing is owned by a local guy. I cut my teeth in the Massachusetts market, but then they recruited me to run this facility that's its own thing here in Connecticut.
Oh, really?
Yep. So the place in Massachusetts, if you ever have a chance to go to ComCan, they have amazing weed grown by a great guy. Edibles are also awesome. Their sodas, the Sip sodas, are delicious, and the guy running that program now is doing a great job. So definitely check them out. But here at Connecticut Contract Manufacturing, we're doing all national brands. ComCan's whole deal was that it's townies, and they're proud that they're townies. You're buying weed from locals because they are
Gotcha.
absolute locals. Yep, buying weed from locals. That's what their whole shtick is, and it's actually some of the best flower at Mass and edibles as well. But they recruited me to come down here, and yeah, he's like, I've signed a couple national brands. We've developed a few things for local people, like Astro Confections is coming out of us. It's by Theraplant, but we're actually producing that. Yeah, and Lighthouse, when we were gonna drop a line of carts, I said we got to do live resin. That's the tastiest, best effect carts that we're gonna get. That's not a straight rosin press.
Right.
And yeah, and we're doing that, and they are good. Lighthouse is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So what other now you guys, Happy Confection, are you in dispensaries in Connecticut yet?
Yes,
We are.
We just launched on Green Wednesday. How beautiful.
You did.
Yes.
We did.
Right before Thanksgiving, you just launched.
Yes, we did.
Oh, wow. And you got some cool stuff. It's mostly now, I'm looking here what you got.
So
Mostly gummies.
Yep. So we have gummies right now, but we have plans to expand into other forms of consumption. We have a line of edibles for recreational and medical. Stephen and I, as I mentioned, we're both medical patients.
Right.
And that's like a big part of our story with cannabis going legal. And so we really wanted to make sure that the medical market, which feels a bit left behind with the establishment
Big
of
time.
rec in Connecticut, had some options that were going to help them continue to receive the benefits that they need. And we heard so many stories of people eating full packs of 5 milligram gummies just to get the effect that they needed for one
Exactly.
second. And that's just, in my opinion, like unacceptable. And so Stephen created options for medical at 25 milligrams. And so our boosted berry, which is a nice sativa
It's right
blend.
here. I'm looking at that right
with
here.
25 milligrams of THC and some sativa live resin terps. And then Sleepy Citron is
That's the next.
25 milligrams of THC with CBD, CBN, and indica live resin terps to help you sleep. And then we have those versions available on the recreational side with 2.5 milligrams of THC. And so the micro, people that maybe don't need as much as even a 5 milligram, because another thing that we heard a lot of was people biting their 5 milligram gummy in half and taking it slower over time. And instead of having to then let, that other half of the gummy maybe get air exposure and get a little hard over time, just being able to take one dose and then maybe grow your consumption from there as you develop a tolerance. But we also have a nice middle of the road for recreational, which I love for socializing, for relaxing at home without feeling like I'm going to just sink into the couch and fall asleep, called Chillaxing Cherry Limeade. It's
I
delicious.
see that.
It has a nice mix of CBD and CBG along with the THC and the live resin hybrid terps. And so, our blends are a little bit more sophisticated than what's out there on the market presently. They're certainly, reflective of like best practice in the industry, but also, we've taken a lot of care to make sure that we are delivering consistent quality, and also making sure to just bring edibles to market that taste great every time.
Well, yeah, and obviously with Stephen being a classically trained chef, I'm sure he made sure that these are top notch, not only in dosage but in flavor as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they
Yeah.
taste really good.
Yes.
The flavors you got a nice berry, you got a one of my favorite cherry limeade, and then a nice citrus one.
Yep.
And what I like about your products is, and you said it, is it's more than just distillate and gummy.
Mm-hmm.
You're adding other, cannabinoids, you're adding different terpenes in there
Exactly.
for a specific purpose.
Yeah.
You help with mellowing out, or
Mhm.
help giving you a little energy, or help with their digestive tract. So all three basically have a purpose, and I like that. So what you were telling me is you have two different versions. The one for the adult use market in Connecticut is 25 milligrams per gummy or per
2.5
pack.
for adult use, like rec is 2.5 milligrams. And on the medical side, it's 25. So yeah,
Okay, yeah, right. 25 for the
Yeah.
medical. So you can do a 25 milligram gummy in these flavors, but on the adult use side, they have to be 1/10, 2.5.
Yep, exactly.
Exactly. Like we're looking just to fill niches that haven't been addressed yet in the market, and we want to continue to expand from there. I think we're considering like a 50 milligram for medical. We also want to bring our chillaxing cherry limeade hybrid to medical. And on top of that, we really want to expand and grow so that our blends can also be consumed in other forms, whether it's vapes or baked goods. And so there's
Yeah.
definitely a lot more to come from us.
Well, good. I would expect that. And, excuse me. I think it's good to be very early in the market,
Mhm.
because what I'm seeing in the Connecticut adult use market is slowly but surely, new edible products are coming in quicker than new flower
Mhm.
and new other. So I'm seeing that a lot of the food and
Yeah.
beverage producers are finally getting online.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, Joe, a lot of that is, manufacturers can come online a little bit easier than cultivators, which
Oh,
is good
absolutely.
to see. But I got to meet you guys as well at a couple of the functions, and I'm really looking forward to everything that's going on. We'll touch base, and hopefully you guys can be at our grand opening next
Yeah.
month.
Yeah. We would
So
love that.
yeah. So we're
Yeah, and
finally getting
like
to that place.
right now we're in Fine Fettle and we're in Butter.
Yep.
All of their locations and all of our SKUs are available. If it's a hybrid store, the medical is there, obviously. And we're looking forward to continuing to expand and roll out across the state. And so, and also just consider ourselves a brand and product that plays well with others, whether it's engaging the entourage effect so that if our consumers are taking the plant in other forms, it's going to only maximize the experience for any additive products. But also from a partnership standpoint, we want to be the ones that are participating in pop-ups, coming up with products that you need that you aren't seeing on the market, so that we can continue to develop and thrive together in a healthy market. And that is what's going to be what sustains for all of us going into the future. And we see ourselves as catalysts to hopefully a lot of success for everyone, especially the stores that are carrying us.
I hope for that as well. We're very small. Northern Botanicals is just hopefully we'll just have two locations, which is a lot smaller than everybody else. I'm a local owner, so I'm looking forward to giving more shelf space to brands and companies like you guys. So once again, using that catalyst to, support other mom and pop style businesses that are coming on. So
Absolutely.
I'm really excited about that. And, we'll all touch base and we'll have an order coming in soon, hopefully. So
Cool.
you'll be able to see you guys and not just those two chain of stores, but also on the small ones.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
we'd love to be there for your opening, Lou.
That would be awesome. Yeah, we'll make it a party. You know that.
Definitely.
We are definitely going to make it a party. So,
yep.
So Steve, I wanted to ask you. I noticed here in your bar you were on the Halloween Baking Championship.
I was.
Tell us a little bit about that experience. I just want to know what it's like to work under that I know the whole TV production thing, and how much of it is real, how much of it is kind of staged. Give us a little insight on that. Or are you on an NDA?
I mean, I feel like my NDA might have expired.
It expired. It was a year, I think.
Yeah. So. I mean, you know what? It was definitely a TV production. I learned a lot about what goes into making a TV show. I obviously would have liked to stay on for longer, but I made great friends. Like I'm on a group chat with all of them. We still weekly, at least once or twice a month, everybody's checking in on each other. A few people have gone on to launch their own businesses, so we were super excited to show everybody our stuff, what we got going on. And yeah, it was a really cool experience. Being that I got sent home pretty quickly, I was really bitter about it for a few months. Really bitter about it. I'm a competitive person, and I really didn't agree with me going home that early. But it's a TV show, and that's what I learned. It's a TV show.
Right.
So I was grateful for my experience. So glad I got to meet all those awesome competitors that were on there with me. And yeah, it was cool. Maybe I do it again someday, but not today.
Yeah. Why don't we do an edible one? Why don't we do one right here in Connecticut?
Totally. I'm all about it.
Hey, that was the other thing I wanted to ask you. Have you considered, or do you do private catering and stuff and things like that? Would it be possible? Like, let's say somebody wanted to speak with you or about doing some specific pastries or do some catering for private events. Is that something you'd be open to?
So I've always thought about it. I definitely could do anything food related I want to do. I'm a big rule follower, and I'm like, if I'm dishing out weed to people, am I going to get in trouble with the state? So as long as we have a way to go around, or just navigate what's established, I'd be interested in thinking about it. I mean, we're a little busy with Happy Confection right now, but definitely something planned out down the road I would definitely consider.
But yeah. What I understand, serving a meal in a private setting is not illegal.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, charging to make that meal.
Charging is different.
Yes.
Yeah.
But are you charging for the meal?
I don't know if you saw that Butter was doing this community, almost like a supper club where they're having a hosted infused dinner, arranging for rideshare discounts to get home. And it's completely free of charge and was reserved for, I believe, 30 people. And
really?
you had to respond to the email within a certain time frame in order to get the seats, and they obviously went very quickly. But this is a concept that I think has legs in terms of especially like deepening relationships with
Really do.
your customers and your brand, and just distinguishing yourselves from the competition.
Well, there you go. There you go. If it's a company event
Mm-hmm.
and you are just sampling
Yes, exactly. You're not charging, and
you're not, yeah,
it's more about socializing and being together and having fun.
and showing off your goods, basically,
Definitely.
or your talents,
Right.
whatever case it may be. But yeah, I do believe that for the like custom desserts, and like you say, I'm sure having the training that you had and also the experience out there, some pretty cool recipes that would be great infused.
I do, yeah. I definitely do. I've just always found that I'd rather just get high and then eat all the tasty things.
Rather than me.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely, absolutely a possibility.
Yep. Yeah,
So
we're not opposed. Like I said, the nice thing about being a small business and it literally just being Stephen and myself is that we are corporate. Like we're a very flat organization, and so we can be a bit more nimble and responsive based on the needs of the community.
right, right, right. And it's
Yeah, and in that vein too, we see ourselves as partners. I look forward to launching a line that gives back in some way consistently on shelves that is the proceeds are going somewhere in the local community, specific to helping people with mental health and also queer youth, two areas that we're very passionate about as a family.
and where are you guys out of?
Westbrook, Connecticut.
Have you linked up with Kimura up there at Kimura's Culture Corner?
No, I don't believe
She
so, but I
does
would like to.
quite a bit of work in the community, very cannabis friendly, quite a bit of the work in the community with LGBTQ youth
Oh, awesome.
and also trauma, mental health issues. She's somebody you might want to connect with.
Yeah.
Kimura's Cultural Corner. She's out of Hartford, but I definitely think you should connect up with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, we're just like, getting to know the area and the community, um and are excited to, just create a bit more of a impact driven um product line. I think Tom's shoes were the first ones that sort of developed the whole like buy one and we'll give one aspect.
Yeah,
And I do think that cause marketing, especially in a industry like cannabis, is a non-negotiable. You have to be not only putting out products that are going to help people, but investing back into the communities that you're serving.
Standing ovation, Lindsay. Absolutely agree. I love
I
So,
think that
yeah.
cannabis is the perfect industry to be doing that as well.
Definitely.
Absolutely. 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 And
Oh, God.
yeah.
I was
Oh,
gonna say,
no.
we weren't asking, but another group I thought of for, if your business links up for Give Back, Middletown Pride. It has its big parade and festival in June. It's usually the first weekend in June, but they do things all year long, and they're right in Middletown. So I could certainly link you up with some of the folks that are in
Yes,
that.
please do. I feel like the more I develop our brand, the more I look to like my experience as a queer person, but also the vibe of the queer community is definitely shining through in many ways in our early days, and we absolutely will be all over Pride
Love.
anywhere and everywhere, especially in June.
Well, maybe we'll join you.
Yeah, love
Should.
it.
We were there last year.
Yes, it's a good time.
It's a
Agreed.
lot of fun,
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
Definitely.
So, all right. So we're almost at the end of our show, believe it or not. But I wanted to give you guys a chance to shout out social media, website, any events you guys are going to be at, any product launches. Give us the
Yeah.
scoop on what's happening.
Absolutely. So we'll be popping up at Butter Danbury this weekend from 11 to 3 on Saturday, the 7th.
That's good.
And, feel free to come by, say hey, grab some swag, and just learn a little bit more about us. They carry all of our microdose line, and so hopefully, we'll be able just to sync up and meet people. On Instagram, we are at the.happyconfection. Just a plug to also sign up for emails for your favorite canna brand, because
I wanted to bring that up because I got your
hard
message. Tell
place.
us about that.
Yes.
And I'm very shocked.
This is our third handle at this point with Meta. We signed up for the blue check mark, and that does seem to be helping us with especially Instagram and being able to review and just archive or delete things that they find are in violation. But really, the space to be able to be candid and fun about, as Kristen put it in a message to me, schmamabis, is it's just not the space for it. And so, they the best way that you can support your local cannabis brand is to follow them, but also to take it a step further, click the link in bio and sign up for emails. Our website is thehappyconfection.com. We have a pop-up form that'll be in your face immediately to sign up for emails. You can tell us what you want to hear about. We are not going to spam and overuse, but we are looking to just educate. We have a blog launching very soon with information not just about our products, but about the plant in general, and really see ourselves helping to just level up the knowledge base in the Connecticut consumer community.
Right. Yeah, and I saw that you've been flagged, and your name doesn't even say cannabis in it.
And a lot of times
and your logo doesn't have weed leaves in it.
No, we're using broccoli, we're using gardening puns, and it's just, yeah.
I think once they got your number, they catch you once, then you're on your radar.
Then,
I mean, I know I'm shadow banned. They told me we're not going to promote you out to anyone.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot.
But they didn't shut me down.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, this is the first handle that we've had where I feel like, because we're paying for the verified service, that we actually have a level of security. But hey, I mean, we have other friends in the industry who have thousands of followers who randomly got shut down. Yeah. They just got their account back after a few weeks, but like, you can put years and years into developing a strong profile on social, and then it's just taken away in a heartbeat.
And I've seen it happen to people. We've been lucky.
That's why email, staying connected in a way that isn't, going to be really managed by watchdogs and regulation, is important. Email
and website, I think that's the way to go. I mean, social media is fine, but like you said, it's very iffy.
We're also on LinkedIn, and that is a very cannabis-friendly community, I gotta say.
I like LinkedIn. Yeah, that's another. What's your LinkedIn? The Happy Confection on LinkedIn?
Confection, yep.
And either one of you guys, Steven or Lindsay, I know you're both on LinkedIn, so if people want to connect with you there, maybe that's the best place these days.
Yep, absolutely.
To do the cannabis thing.
Yeah.
Kristen, I know you got something as a social media expert.
The only thing I'm thinking out loud, hop on Blue Sky. It's a relatively new app. It's gaining steam like crazy, and it's very cannabis. So all the cannabis folks that were very vocal and prominent on Twitter have moved over.
Nice. Yeah, I just joined myself personally, and it's on my to-do list to just dive a little deeper and check it out. But I am very excited about that platform and the attention that it's been getting of late.
Totally.
Very good. Steven, any last words before we sign off?
No, go buy my gummies and get high. You'll enjoy them.
Very good.
Love that.
Lindsay, Steven, thank you. Uncle Lou.
Yeah.
As always, my friends, I just want to tell everybody, stay happy, healthy, and high. Lindsay, Steven, I hope to touch base with you guys soon and have you out for the grand opening next month and all the good things that come with it.
All right. Thank you so much, Kristen.
Thank you.
Everyone have a great week. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right. That's Lindsay and Steven of the Happy Confection. Thank you guys so much for coming on. You can find them at thehappyconfection.com. Go check out their gummies at Fine Fettle or Butter. Harry, we're ready. Hit that music. You can like, share, subscribe, follow us at Greenhaven Media on Facebook and on Instagram. Also at Greenhaven Media YouTube. I don't know if I'm getting music today or not, but I think it's time to sign off. All right, everybody. Thanks again for a great show. We will see you all next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.